we hand our power and our preferences over to other people. We've been taught to do this, especially in faith traditions. So a lady just responded on one of my videos, the one where I'm wearing the equivalent of a bikini. And she said, "Oh no, what are you even doing? God covered people." So, number one, she can't even say, "I don't like that you're doing this. This makes me uncomfortable that you're doing this," right? It isn't even okay for her to say, "I don't like it." What she needs to do is police me using her God. Her God covered people. Well, I'm not sure who her God is, but all of the gods that I've ever studied, the people were born naked. And in the Bible, God didn't cover those people. Man became ashamed. Man decided shame, and man covered up. But notice this, she has handed her preferences over to something and then now needs to police other people with the preference of her deity. Is she wrong? She believes it. She believes her policing me is helping the world. She believes it. And she may or may not actually believe that about her God, but you better bet that that was ingrained in her. And I bet you, if I go and look at her profile, she uses filters all the time, possibly wears makeup and wigs. But you know what? She gets to do that. I don't have a deity that I point to that's like, Chuck says no. Chuck says women shouldn't pretend to be something they're not. Women shouldn't put on eyelashes and wear rouge on their lips. Chuck doesn't give a fuck. I also don't give a fuck. I love it when I see people modify themselves in ways that please them. What does this have to do with anything? Notice all the ways that you can't even say, "I don't like that." You point to something else. Even notice this. Sometimes there's stuff in our body and we're like, "I don't like it." And then we're like, "I'm triggered and it's a trauma response and I can't be around people like you." Also, maybe yes and maybe this in here is tangled up with a story that has nothing to do with that behavior and that person. It just reminds you of an old thing. And what we do is we hand our power over to this trigger, this sensation. We hand our comfort over to this person so they cannot give it to us and we can blame them. And that's what we do here. Learning how to get sturdy in ourselves, knowing what actually we, in fact, do like and do not like because we don't like it. I didn't like my husband standing and opening up the refrigerator, getting out his shit and taking care of whatever food he was making while leaving the refrigerator door open. I didn't like that. And it felt like I didn't like it. You know who doesn't like that? My mother. My mother instilled in me that was not there is a way to be in the refrigerator and that is not the way. I didn't know that I didn't think that was a problem. I didn't know that me, Brandy, grown-ass human, they closed the door, but also probably I closed the door because my mama didn't want the door open. So there are so many things that it's a habit. It was handed to us by our faith people, by the people we grew up with, by society that's been policing us with the faith that they grew up in, with the people that they grew up in. Do you see? It's always been you. You've been running a program that someone else installed. And we just think it's the way I am. And it is until you notice it. And then you get to choose, babe. And then you get to choose. I love you. Boop. Your heart is magnificent to me. And if I can do anything, it's to show you how I've freed up shit in my head and in my heart and realize that I actually get to choose. Do I like it? Do I not? And notice that I want to blame other people for it or give other people the credit, but it's a story I tell myself. That's freedom, friend. That is a tasty chunk of freedom. All right. Happy today to you from me and Chuck.